It's Miss Kathleen here at Trinity Church. I'm in our chapel space in the guild room of the church. There's nobody here but me, and I miss all of you so much. But I thought it might be fun to get together and sing a couple of songs and have a story, because that's what we do here in chapel. Good morning, everybody. It's almost lunchtime, and as I look out the window, I see that it is a sunny day. Who made this day? God made this day. Do you remember the song we sing about it? This is the day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We talk about love and sing about love a lot in chapel. And that's because God is love. I don't know if you remember the simple Trinity prayer we do. God is love, Jesus is the light, the Spirit is here. Love is something, if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something, if you give it away, you'll end up having more. Love grows 1 by 1, 2 by 2, and 4 by 4. Love goes round in a circle, comes back a knocking at your front door. Somebody's knocking at your door. Somebody's knocking at your door. Oh, children, why don't you answer? Somebody's knocking at your door. Jesus is knocking at your door. Jesus is knocking at your door. Oh, children, why don't you answer? Jesus is knocking at your door. Open your heart and let him in. Open your heart and let him in. Oh, children, why don't you answer? Open your heart and let him in. Now, this is one of Miss Lorraine's favorite songs. Miss Lorraine, are you watching? I don't know. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. God made the mountains, God made the sea, God made the animals too. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. Those are the songs we usually sing in chapel. And then sometimes we say prayers. And prayer can be talking to God and listening to God. And right now, I would like to pray for all my friends in Trinity Preschool who can't be here today. And I'm not going to say all of your names, but I would like to pray especially for Miss Lorraine and Miss Annie and all the friends in their class, and Miss Katie and Miss Shelley and all the friends who are in their class. Miss Renee is usually the teacher, but she's at home with her baby Melrose right now. I'd like to pray for Miss Linda and Miss Christina and all the friends in their class, and Miss Kathy and Miss Dominique and all the friends in their class. And then the pre-K students, Miss Megan and Miss Mary Lynn and all the pre-K students in their class, and Miss Tressa and Miss Rita and all the friends in their class. Miss Tressa isn't with us right now either. She's recovering from surgery at home, but maybe you've seen her in a Zoom class. I don't know. To get ready to tell a story now, I'm going to listen to the sound of this bell, and it will help me to get ready to listen, and it will help me get calm inside so I can tell you the story in the best way that I can. I'm going to listen to the sound of this bell, and when I can't hear it anymore, Then I'll be ready. You can listen too. I can still hear it. I have something the color purple. Purple reminds us of many things. Reminds us of the Ravens during football season, but it also reminds us of something serious, of kings. Kings can be very serious because they have to make rules for the country and they have to reign over the country. We're going to tell a story about a king, not the kind of king you might think. This kind of king didn't have an enormous castle to live in. This kind of king was born in a barn. The king that we're getting ready to talk about will be coming in this story and going and coming again. In the beginning, the baby was born. God chose Mary to be the mother of God. Listen carefully to those words. God chose Mary to be the mother of God, and the Word became a wordless child. When the baby looked into the face of the Mother Mary, he saw for the first time the cross. And when the baby looked into the face of the Father Joseph, the cross was there too. The Mother Mary and the Father Joseph, they held the baby close. They kept the baby warm. They gave the baby everything that the baby needed to grow. And the baby did begin to grow. The baby grew and became a boy. And when the boy Jesus was about 12 years old, when he was 12 years old, his parents decided that he was old enough to travel to the city of Jerusalem from their village of Nazareth. They went with many people from their village, through the great high gates of the city of Jerusalem to celebrate one of the great holy days, one of the high holy days. After they were finished celebrating, everyone left the city of Jerusalem to head back to Nazareth. The Mother Mary and the Father Joseph thought that the boy Jesus was playing with the other children in the village as they traveled back to Nazareth. But when they looked, he was not there. So they hurried back to the city of Jerusalem. They went back through the great high gates to look for the boy Jesus. They looked in the village, they looked in the streets, they looked in the market where they had bought their food. They looked everywhere. They looked where they spent the night, but finally they decided to look. They decided to look in the temple where they had celebrated the great high holy days. And there he was. Jesus was in the temple talking to the rabbis, the priests, the ministers, and they were listening to him because he knew so much. But Jesus was listening to the high priests and the rabbis, the ministers, because Jesus wanted to learn more. But then Mary and Joseph looked into the face of their son Jesus, and they asked that question that every parent asks and that we never know how to answer. Why did you do this? And Jesus looked into the face of his parents and he said something very strange. He said, "Did you not know Did you not know I would be in my Father's house?" Mary and Joseph did not understand. They looked into the face of their son and they thought, "Your house is in Nazareth, where Joseph has his carpenter shop." They didn't understand, but they thought about it, and someday they would. And they took their son back to the city of Nazareth, and he began to grow in the knowledge of God and in the love of people. Now, I wonder if you can still see this. Let's see. There. I wonder if you can think of any things we can add to tell this part of the story of Jesus. There might be some things in your home, but I'm going to talk about some things we have here in chapel that we could add to tell the story. One of our favorites. This is the baby Jesus lying in a manger, the Word that was born, the wordless child. And this, the Father Joseph and the Mother Mary. This is part of our nativity set, our Holy Family set that we have in chapel. Is there anything else? Remember, God is love, Jesus is the light, the Spirit is here. This is the candle to remind us that Jesus is the light. There might be some other things in your house or in this chapel room, maybe, that would help us tell the story. But right now, we'll just use these things. And when we get back together, maybe you can bring some things for us to show and put next to this part of the story, when the baby was born and the Mother Mary and the Father Joseph held the baby close and kept him warm. I wonder, in your house, if there was anybody who was born. Of course there was. I wonder if you know the story of the day they were born or how they were born. Maybe when you're having lunch or dinner with your parents, you can talk about that. Because people in your family were born, you are part of this story too. And how about the story when the boy Jesus was lost and found? What could we put next to this to help us tell more of the story? Well, I have the gate, the high gate from the city of Jerusalem. It looks kind of like a castle, but they put a gate around the whole city to try to keep it safe from other people who might want to take the city. What else? I have a little boy who might be lost and could be found. I have a shepherd, the good shepherd, who looks for things like sheep who are lost and finds them. Then I have a sheep. There are probably other things that we could add to this part of the story too. Maybe you could make something out of your Legos to remind you of this part of the story when the baby was born, or when the boy was lost and found. I wonder if anyone in your family has been lost and found again. You know, even if I don't know those stories. And sometimes when you think you're lost, you're not really lost, but somebody finds you and reminds you of that. So maybe you could talk about this part of the story with your family also. Because this is the story of the life of Jesus, but it's also part of our story too. Next time, tomorrow, at 11:30, I'm going to tell 2 more parts of the life of Jesus so we can get ready for Holy Week and one of the most important stories about how Jesus died and God made Jesus alive again. Thank you so much for coming to this story time today. And remember that you're all in my prayers, and that at Trinity we love you and we're thinking of you. I forgot our goodbye song. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. See you tomorrow.